कर दिया। अरे वेरी फास्ट, वेरी गुड। जो करना है कुछ करना ही है ना। रूम में बैठे रहेगा वो सब कह रहे हैं वहाँ आस पास दिल्ली वन में आज दिल्ली वन वाली आपको सर ने बुलाया वहाँ सभी गुजरे हुए स्टडी सेंटर ऑर्डर देख रहा है इसलिए मैंने आपको बीच में बैठाया नहीं। जब मैं आया था ना तो आपके एआर साहब ने मुझसे ही कहा था फर्स्ट फ्लोर में जाकर ही बैठना। पर मैंने देखा वहाँ तो सारे बिल्कुल बीच में बैठता हूँ, बीच में बैठ गया। सर ने पता नहीं कहाँ से देख लिया, राइट से बात दिखाई तो देता ही है। फिर मैं कोने में बैठ गया, मैं कहा हटो यहाँ से, तो अंदर आना जाना लगा रहेगा। फिर कोने में बैठा तो आपने कहा बीच में जाके बैठो। मनीष जी थोड़ा सा ऊपर करना है, नीचे ऊपर, ठीक है। Good morning, learners and viewers. Welcome to the session for International Logistics and Supply Chain Management, MMPO 008. We will be continuing with Unit 11, that is Inventory Management. Materials Requirement Planning, in short, we call it as MRP. This is a software based production planning and inventory control system which is used to manage manufacturing processes. The MRP system is intended to simultaneously meet three objectives. First one is ensure materials and products are available for production and delivery to customers. Secondly, to maintain the lowest possible level of inventory. And thirdly, plan manufacturing activities, delivery schedules, and purchasing activities. As we know that organizations need to control the types and quantities of material they purchase, plan which products are to be produced and in what quantities, and ensure that they are able to meet current and future customer demand at the lowest possible cost. Making a bad decision in any of these areas will make the company lose money. MRP is a tool to deal with these problems. It provides answers for several questions, such as what items are required, how many are required, and when they are required. MRP can be applied both to items that are purchased from outside suppliers and to sub-assemblies produced internally that are components of more complex items. Now, the most important part of this is ABC inventory management. The ABC analysis is a popular term used to classify various materials or inventories in an organization for better control. We can say that ABC is a categorization technique which is often used in materials management department by big organizations. As it is also known as selective inventory control. ABC stands for always better control. What are the policies which are used, or we can say policies based on ABC analysis? A items are those which needs very tight control and accurate record is required. B items are less tightly controlled and good amount of documentation is required. And the third one is C item, which is simplest possible control and require minimum records. The ABC analysis provides a mechanism for identifying items that will have a significant impact on overall inventory cost, while also providing a mechanism for identifying different categories of stock that will require different management and controls. Items are very important for an organization because of high value of these A items. Frequent value analysis is required. In addition to that, an organization needs to choose an appropriate order pattern that is just in time to avoid excess capacity. B items are important, but of course less important than A items and more items important than C items. Therefore, B items are intergroup items. C items are marginally important. There is no fixed threshold for each class. Different proportions can be applied based on objectives and criteria. ABC analysis is quite similar to Pareto principle, in which A items will typically account for a large proportion of the overall value, but a small percentage of number of items. Here we see the examples of ABC class. If we talk in terms of A items, there are only 5% of the items account for 75% of the annual consumption value of the item. B items are those items which have 10% of the item, which account for 15% of the annual consumption of the item. And C items are 80% of the items which cost for 10% of the annual consumption value of the items. This figure shows the ABC analysis or ABC curve of total for 4,051 different items in the inventory department of a typical manufacturing unit, considering the values in rupees for each item. The curve shows the percentage of total item present and its value as per the ABC classification. On x-axis, we have taken the number of items, and on y-axis, we have taken the total value in percents. Then comes just-in-time system. It was only Taiichi Ohno of Toyota Motor Corporation, Japan, who coined the term just-in-time concept way back in 1950. He is widely known as father of JIT concept. Just-in-time system is a practice of reducing inventory levels by scheduling materials to arrive just as they are needed in the production process. More broadly, it is a comprehensive program for improving manufacturing operations to yield higher quality products at reduced expenses. The concept of JIT refers to production and delivery of finished goods just in time to be sold, sub-assemblies just in time to be assembled into finished goods, fabricated parts just in time to go into assemblies, and purchase items or materials just in time to be transformed into fabricated parts. Now, the objectives of JIT philosophy is to ensure zero defect, zero setup time, zero lot accesses, zero handling, zero queues, zero breakdowns, and zero lead times. That means we can say, as and when required, the thing should be procured or should be available. It emphasizes on solving the whole spectrum of production problems, not only with excess inventory, safety stock, or load times. The philosophy of JIT refers to all materials to be active as work in process, never a pause in collecting, carrying charges. Hand to mouth operation in which the ratio of production and delivery quantities approaches to 1. Flow of material resources through the logistic systems in such a way that they arrive at a point of intended use just in time. And there is no idle inventory, only those to which value is being added. Kit system refers to make available the right goods in the right quantity at the right time without the need of inventory as safety stock. The concept of JIT is in contrast to the conventional American manufacturing philosophy. Due to significant contribution of JIT in the productivity of Japanese industry, globally corporate enterprises are adopting JIT in manufacturing and even in the service industry after suitable modification into it to meet their respective requirements. Now we will see the comparison between conventional and JIT philosophy. If we talk about conventional system, some defects are acceptable, large loads are efficient, fast production is efficient, inventory provides safety, inventory is an asset, queues are necessary, suppliers are adversaries, setup time is given, workforce is specialized. This is not what we do in conventional system. And if, on the other hand, if we talk about just-in-time philosophy, they say zero defects are necessary and attainable. Ideal lot size is one. Balanced production is efficient. Safety stock is a waste. Inventory is a liability. Queues should be eliminated. Suppliers are partners. And setup time should be zero. And workforce is multifunctional. What are the characteristics of JIT system? There are various characteristics of JIT system, which includes zero inventories, emphasis is on operation from source to customer. Emphasis emphasizes customer service and timing, so fulfilling the missions of logistics and supply chain management. Less lead time, thus reducing inventory carrying cost. Flexibility of operations to increase customer responsiveness and efficient flow of goods. What are the advantages of it? It reduces inventory level drastically, reduces process time, space requirement, and setup considerably. Leads to time based competition using speed as a weapon to capture market share. It eliminates waste by prohibiting overproduction, waiting, undue warehousing, and handling facilities, and defective production. It improves customer service and productivity. And motion of efforts by greater employees' participation and motivation. If something has advantages, no doubt there will be disadvantages also. And if we talk in terms of a disadvantages objective, there is a high risk is involved due to short-term planning and a minimum level of inventory. Suppliers of input material needs to be educated about the quality by the customers or company. It needs continuous and close evaluation and follow up of the whole process. It requires establishment of long-term business partnership with suppliers and is not capable of meeting any unforeseen requirements or demands. Now, we move to Unit 12, that is outsourcing decisions in global logistics. In the prevailing highly competitive and dynamic global business environment with vastly extended supply chains, companies can often be confused by the many logistics options and sources available to them when seeking to implement a highly visible supply chain management solution. Before making a decision on how to best integrate advancing technologies into your company's supply chain, it is more important than ever to evaluate the many existing options today. Outsourcing refers to delegation or assignment of certain non core activities by a corporate enterprise to outside agencies or firms with the objectives to be performed in superior manner than internally. The outsourcing service providers involved in the process replaces the physical assets and people and thus can use the capital involved for different uses, generally for those which are more strategic in the progress of the corporation. It is generally believed that outside firms are good at reducing the cost involved along with improving the efficiency level of the staff and more efficient management of the labor can also be achieved as compared to the internal management. The extent of progress observed in supply chain surplus given by the third party, along with the upsurge in risk suffered because of usage of a third party, helps in taking a decision about outsourcing. Cohen and Russell have suggested three situations when a firm should outsource activities to third parties. First one is scale. They can offer services more cheaply because of large customer base that keep utilization rate high and unit cost low. External partners also help companies to scale up production quickly without having to invest in new manufacturing capacity. Second one is scope. For companies that want to expand into new markets or geographies, outsourcing partners can provide access to operations in new locations which would not be economical to replicate internally at current business volumes. And thirdly, it is technology expertise. Outsourcing partners may have mastered a product or process technology that would require a sizable investment to develop internally. French and Pivot point out that third party outsources can also help a firm to tap its unrealized cost saving by leveraging spend across the enterprise, accelerate the achievement of results, provide better tracking to key operational functions, add values by converting operations from overhead to competitive strength. It decreases suppliers' costs through leverage of volume discount, objectivity, and reduced cycle times. It also improves adherence to policies, improves inventory performance through sophisticated statistical techniques, and it outpaces competition through the use of leading edge technology and best practice methodologies. Third party logistics, that is 3PL. Third party supply of logistics is related operations between traders by an independent organization. Third party logistics is the function by which the owners of goods, that is the client company, outsources various elements of the supply chain to one third party company that can perform the management function of the client, such as inbound freight, customs, warehousing, order fulfillment, distribution, and outbound freight to the client's customers. Another definition which states that third party logistics provider is one who is responsible to integrate, coordinate, and manage functions for the smooth handling of sourcing, output, and production. What are the services which are provided by 3PL? First one is transportation or distribution. 3PL providers are providing general trucking services, intermodal transportation, that is rail, ocean, air freight, specialized services, time constraint services, which includes just overnight, same day, etc., and shipment tracking and tracing. Secondly, it is warehousing or distribution. 3PL providers also serves in distribution sector as public, contract, region-wise, operation technology. They use barcoding, radio frequency, VMI, etc. Value-added services like cross-docking, freight consolidation, pick and pack, etc., and order processing and fulfillment. Then comes your custom services. 3PL is also providing custom services like custom brokerage, duty drawback, etc. IT support. 3PL is also providing IT support to firms, which include EDI capability, logistics information system, and other software and web-based solutions. Product support services. 3PL is providing reverse logistics, value added services, that is package, label, mark, test, assembly, etc., as per the requirement. Then comes they also provide consulting. It is another important service ordered by 3PL providers for total logistics solutions, including fleet operations, distribution network design, carrier selection, negotiation, routing, facility location analysis, selection, design, and inventory management. What is the role of 3PL in logistics and supply chain management? Third party logistics service providers can help to integrate supply chain, that is, from supplies of raw material till suppliers to end customer. 3PL can perform this job much better than that of companies' own transportation without any hurdles, and they have nothing to do with company issues. The surplus in supply chain is successfully increased by the third party when they are in position to accumulate assets of supply chain at a higher level than the level of firm itself. And to increase the surplus, the below listing mechanisms are used by third parties. That is capacity aggregation. The supply chain surplus can be increased by third party by aggregating demand across various firms and gaining production economies on a very large scale. This is the utmost shared cost for performing production in a supply chain with the help of outsourcing. We take an example of Dell. Dell used to outsource its designing and making of its processors used in PCs to a different organization known as Intel. Outsourcing is done as numerous processes are being manufactured by the company. Intel for different manufacturers as compared to the Dell. Intel has mass production capacity, which also provides economies of sales. When the capacity requirement of the organizations are very bulky and steady, then third party will not increase the surplus with the help of capacity aggregation. Second one is inventory aggregation. Aggregation of inventories across large number of customers by third parties can also increase supply chain surplus. To lower the overall uncertainty meaningfully and for improving economies of scale in acquiring and convenience, aggregation is generally used. As a result, these MRO distributors prefer to hold knowingly fewer safety stock and cycle inventory that would be essential in case every client takes a decision to hold inventory on its own. Third one is transportation aggregation. An increase in the surplus by the third party is done by combining the carriage function to advanced level than any shipper can perform on its own. FedEx is an example of transportation intermediary who aggregates transportation requirements of many clients across a diversity of shippers and creates surplus. Fourth one is by storage intermediaries. Through aggregation of both inbound and outbound transportation, even a third party can also enhance the surplus in supply chain. Then comes your warehousing aggregation. If the cost of real estate is lowered along with the reduction in the processing cost, then growth in the surplus can be achieved within a warehouse also. When suppliers' warehousing requirements are minor in comparison to its need, fluctuation over a period of time, saving through warehousing aggregation can be achieved. Sixth one is procurement aggregation. Procurement aggregation is the utmost influential among various minor buyers. A decent case where lower prices for truck fleets are offered with the help of aggregate buying is of fleet exchange. Now we move to advanced information technology and third party logistics. Information technology is defined by a wide range of increasingly convergent and interlinked technologies that process the information that business generates and use. Using information technology in an organization has changed from being simply a tool for handling transactions to a weapon that can influence an organization's competitive position. The application of information technology has increased significantly over a time in logistics and supply chain processes and management. Information technology is an essential driver for third party logistics performance because the integration of logistics providers systems with its customers or buyers is very important. Information technology links members of supply chain such as transportation firms, distributors, manufacturers, and retailers as it automates some components of logistics workload such as order status, inquiries, shipment tracking, inventory management, and order processing. Transaction costs can be decreased, and supply chain participants can also manage the increased complications if considerable information technology improvements are made. Information technology in 3PL firms plays a vital role to synchronize complex supply chain activities across logistics users and their customers and work as a bridge for connecting customer and supply chain and logistics users. What is the risk of using a third party? Firms must assess the subsequent dangers when they move to a third party. The first one is broken process. The major complication arises when a firm outsources the function of supply chain because the firm bears no control on the processes. When a supply chain is already weak or broken, adding a third party is even harder. Second one is underestimation of the cost of coordination. The most common mistake while opting for outsourcing is the underestimation of the essential efforts which are required to be undertaken for coordinating activities or supply chain tasks among numerous entities involved. Third one is reduced direct customer supply contact. A firm may tend to lose customer or suppliers contract by introducing a third party. The loss of customer contact is essentially significant to a firm which sells directly to customers and decides to introduce a third party either to collect orders or deliver the products. Fourth one is growth in at third party power at the cost of internal capabilities. In case where outsourcing increases the power of third party, the firm has the option to choose for an in-house service facility for supply chain function. Then comes confidentiality of sensitive data and information. When any firm takes the help of third party, then there is a need to share the information about demand and even for the intellectual property. If third party also serves competitors, there is always a danger of leakage. Four PL service providers. The term fourth place party logistics and lead logistics provider were introduced in 1996 by Bob Evans of Arthur Andersen and are defined as a 4PL is an integrator which is used by different organizations for designing, building, and running comprehensive supply chain management as it gathers the resources, abilities, and expertise. Fourth party logistics is the shared sourcing of the supply chain, spanning activities with a client and selected teaming partner under the direction of a 4PL integrator. A 4PL company takes over the logistics section of a business. This could be the entire process or a site that is imperative to have as a part of the main business. What is the difference between 4PL and 3PL? According to the Council of Logistics Management, a 4PL differs from 3PL in the following ways. A 4PL organization is often separate entity established as a joint venture or long-term contact between a primary client and a multiple LSPs. 4PL organization acts as a single interface between the client and multiple LSPs. All aspects of client's supply chain are managed by 4PL organizations. And it is possible for a major 3PL provider to form 4PL organization within its existing structure. The two distinct features that take the concept of 4PL apart from other 3PL outsourcing options are: a 4PL represents a comprehensive supply chain solution, and a 4PL delivers the value through the ability to have an impact on entire supply chain. Then comes your global outsourcing. In today's borderless world, businesses are conducted without any hurdle with the help of global outsourcing. With the passage of time, companies are adopting different outsourcing models. Outsourcing is not only a quick access for achieving reduction of cost, but it is even more essential. Global outsourcing firms generally adopts a mixed strategy, which makes the use of on-site, offshore, and near-shore outsourcing solutions for achieving strategic occupational aims for its clients. There is an upsurging pressure on the operating margins due to high competitions in the market, which is further deepened by intense consumer needs and shortened life cycle of the product. The difficulty of worldwide cross-border occupational management forces corporations to stay supple, gainful, and pioneering to meet the ever-changing business and requirements. It is essential for business operations to be flexible and adaptable. Global outsourcing lessens danger for the clients, and it is not either country specific or geographic dependent, and provides for additional autonomy and elasticity in the process of decision making during the process of outsourcing mechanism. It permits traders to study, familiarize, develop, and progress while safeguarding expectedness in quality and distribution in the business process. Global outsourcing companies have been adopted and modular approach for service delivery as they are motivated by the ever-changing customer needs, evolving and updating technologies used for workflow automation. Business processes have been streamlined by the outsourcing service providers as they break down the entire process into small but interconnected parts of components, which has the capability to be distributed across the topographies in order to do work in a more efficient and effective manner. The mechanism of worldwide distribution has also been made possible through this. The responsibility for managing the whole project, which is running in modular form fashion across multiple locations, nations at multiple time zones, with the help of numerous partners, retailers, or branch offices, is the outsourcing service provider only. As an end to end business solution, the updated and finished modules are amassed and are made accessible to various clients. Factors influencing global outsourcing. There are few issues in which a company must look into to build global relationships. They have to understand the market transportation infrastructure and have a plan. Low traffics, attractors, attractive labor cost, and appealing rates are one thing. Getting the goods from point A to their final destination is another. Having a good understanding of the prospective market seaports, airports, and ground transportation in order to know how easy or difficult it may be to get the goods between destinations. To examine economic growth and trade trends. For the companies that needs custom motor manufacturers, they need a country that makes outsourcing simple and examines national import trends. It is important that the countries with the most opportunities are those that are steady increase of imports as well as experience rise in per capita income that rises at the same time. Then it seeks a compatible workforce. The company should have enough staff members to fulfill the order by the aggregate upon deadline. In addition, the workforce should meet the needs of a company. Factory audits. Never take an offshore factory claims and promises at face value. A company representative should visit prospective factories and perform an on-site audit to ensure that they meet certain qualifications and standards. What is the risk involved in global outsourcing? There are several issues that poses the greatest risk to companies deciding to go for outsourcing. To start with, it is the factory selection. To reduce the chances of choosing the wrong factory, find an outsourcing partner which is familiar with the parts that a company needs and is willing to send a representative to visit the factory to verify the claims. Secondly, comes the quality. Poor quality is the biggest risk that a company faces with regards to outsourcing. Risk can be mitigated with regular factory visits and audits that a company representative or outsourcing partner regularly performs for to identify problems early. Commercial risk. Sometimes companies have management changes, a lack in exercise capacity, defective products, or are unwilling to take corrective actions. Prevention of such risks comes into inspection and audit before and during the production process. Then comes your intellectual property. Property laws are weak in some countries. An outsourcing partner can provide guidance about how to best protect its ideas and interests. Then comes negotiation. To, it takes a mix of cultural understanding with the right language and interpersonal skills to successfully negotiate a contract. Then comes political risk, labor strikes, demands for higher wages, and the like can halt production in a factory. It can also experience difficulties if there are external political events, like the sourcing of relationship between the US and the respective countries. Now we move to block 5, that is performance, measurement, and future trends. So we will start with unit 13, that is performance, measurement, and matrices of global logistics. The purpose of measuring the performance is to enable the management to obtain inputs on the targets achieved by the firms as against the expectations of the customers in order to meet their strategic goals. In measuring performance, there is a need to assess the requirements of the customer and manner in which these requirements are fulfilled by optimizing the resources at the disposal of the firm with a target to finally bring about customer satisfaction. When the role of supply chain management is influencing the customer satisfaction level, it was realized by experts that there is a need for regular performance measurement of the supply chain process. Performance measurement is a key activity of supply chain in dynamic global competitive scenario for the improvement of productivity and profitability on a continuous basis and which are the order of the day for survival. Taking into consideration the prevailing global competitive scenario, improvement of productivity and profitability at a continuous basis are the order of the day for survival. Performance measurement of supply chain has been variedly defined by experts, and some of them are: initially, it is defined as a system of measures to evaluate the effectiveness and efficiency of organizational structure, processes, and resources, not only for one firm, but also for the entire supply chain. What is the rationale of performance metrics? The rationale of performance metrics are: number one, uniqueness of supply chain controlling. The term supply chain controlling consists of identification of the control parameters and the use of adequate control in each of the defined parameter within the whole supply chain. There are two objectives of supply chain controlling. First one is direct objective and second one is indirect objective. The directive objective is to control the functioning of the process to resource optimization, while on the other hand, indirect objective is to achieve the overall strategic vision of the firm, that of gaining a competitive advantage to increase the overall market share. What is the uniqueness of supply chain monitoring? Supply chain management process needs continuous monitoring or evaluation to identify the gaps and to rectify the same. There are cost as well as non-cost measures to monitor supply chain processes. In the cost-based system, a customer is able to quantify the extra cost incurred if supplier fails to perform as desired. The total cost of doing business with a supplier can be calculated by the Supplier Performance Index, what we call as SPI. This index is calculated for each item or commodity provided by the supplier and it has a base value of 1. It is represented by the following formula, that is SPI is equal to purchase price plus non-performance cost divided by purchase price. The closer SPI is to 1, the better the supplier is. That means this calculation should come nearer to 1. Supply chain monitoring involves data from all parts of the firm, sometimes from all parts of the globe, since the change in the dimension of business is there. Business needs to review past performance through industry-specific key performance indicators, that is KPIs, to benchmark how different areas of the business are performing. Time and resources get wasted when a business cannot identify the cause of problems precisely and fast, thereby failing to respond to the timely manner. Information system capabilities of supply chain integration. Companies in present time are seen to invest large sums of money in developing their information technology capabilities. Having information technology strengths does not ensure information sharing. Along with IT system in place, the companies must create a culture to promote information sharing by connecting the participants in the supply chain organization are able to facilitate exchange of information, enabling informed decision as the most significant outcome. Dell computers and Walmart were able to achieve competitive strength because of their effective supply chain management practices. Both the companies have made huge investment in information technology, making IT the key differentiator in the supply chain process. Innovating supply chain practices like cross-docking, forecasting, and replenishment, use of radio frequency identification have been pioneered by these companies. Complexities of supply chain management with the increase in the number of participants in a given supply, there is an increase in degree of complexity. When the increase of complexity is there, and it is a challenge to understand the influence of one participant to the another. Many interested aspects of supply chain determine the complexity of the supply chain ecosystem. Some of them, namely, are number of elements in the chain, the order in which each participant is placed, the order in which the degree to which one participant depends on the other, and the process of predictability of the supply chain model. Complexities in supply chain have been divided into two. First one is structural and second one is operational. Structural complexity has been defined as associated with the strategic variety characteristics of a system, whereas the operational or dynamic complexity can be defined as the uncertainty associated with a dynamic system. Flexibility of supply chain management. In order to mitigate uncertainty, flexibility of supply chain is maintained. Flexibility is in terms of offering and partners. By offering flexibility, it means that supply chain is able to adapt to the changing demands of business environment. Further, it is the ability of supply chain to change partners due to demands of the business environment, generally referred as partner flexibility. Some examples of flexibility in supply chain are strong network flexibility, when the existing supply chain is able to manage multiple events in its structure. Second one is redesign flexibility, when the supply chain is able to redesign itself due to changes in the business environment. Active flexibility. It is the ability to act in synergy while responding to situations. Network alignment. Such flexibility happens when the supply chain participants focus on combining their ability to meet the objectives of supply chain and to compete as a unit. The principles of input and output measures. It is important to determine the cause and effect relationship between structural elements in the supply chain management. Complexity is profound in the supply chain due to the involvement of many elements. Some of the input and output measures used in supply chain management are, if we talk about input measure, they are in the form of forecast accuracy, manufacturing change time, new product introduction, and logistics structure. As on the other hand, when we talk about output measures, it can be sales, customer service, inventory management, and distribution processing. The measurement of the input and output of logistics system is done in terms of the total costs and the customer service respectively. A number of factors impact the efficiency of logistics. Functions like customer service, cost, tied up capital, flexibility, time, and environment. The interplay of these factors lead to the efficiency of logistics in totality. The challenges lead in figuring out the impact of each of the elements and defining their specific performance parameter along with the impact of the same on the strategic goals of the company. Then comes your dimensions of performance measurement. It is noticed that firms engaging in comprehensive performance measurement realized improvements in overall productivity in the range of 14 to 22%, taking into consideration the present global competitive scenario. Improvement of productivity and profitability on a continuous basis are the order of the day for survival. That is why proactive corporate enterprises are always concerned about performance measurement. It helps them not only to improve productivity and profitability, but also ensures efficiency and effectiveness in utilization of resources for maximization of customer value by means of competitive advantage and shared value. As there is enough space scope for improvement in productivity and profitability, logistics managers are always striving for collection, analysis, and interpretation of qualitative information to measure and compare in order to give the right structure to logistics performance. The focus of activity applied based measures refers to individual tasks required for processing and shipping of goods to fill orders, whereas the process-based measures deals with customer satisfaction delivered by the entire supply chain. And there are three dimensions of performance measurement. And they are internal performance measurement. Second one is external performance measurement. And the third one is comprehensive supply chains performance measurement. We'll start with internal performance measurement. The internal performance measurement refers to a comparison of the present level of logistics function and goals with the previous operations and goals. There are five broad categories of logistics performance measures, such as cost, customer service, productivity, asset management, and quality. The second one is external performance measurement. External performance measurement of logistics activity of the firm refers to visualizing it from the customer and competition point of views. It is necessary to monitor, understand, and maintain the logistics performance to keep the customer happy and loyal, as well as remaining competitive terms in the market. External performance measures involve two major aspects, that is, customer perception with the customer perception measurement and competitive performance measurement. Third one is comprehensive supply chain measurement. In recent times, there have been an amazing increase in the focus on supply chain performance measurement that offers an integrated perspective. Without an integrated performance measurement system, it is not possible to achieve the corporate objectives of state of the art customer service, and there is very possibility of gaps in it. Unit 14 is related to logistics audit and control. The term audit stands for systematic verification for the purpose of evaluation and control of any activity within an organization. The auditing approach serves as a tool for improving quality of logistics management and improving the business outcomes. Every logistic chain demands careful scheduling and management. This is because the quality and productivity of logistics reflects the quality of service of the company. Therefore, in order to improve the overall performance of the company, it is important to monitor and control the individual processes in the company. We may define the term logistics audit as it is an unbiased assessment of all the aspects of clients' overall logistics and supply chain processes, including the supplier and the customer relations, the procedure of planning, the flow of documents, maintenance of the management information system, the logistics infrastructure, quality control, and the matching of the logistics cost to the local market conditions. The next one is the scope of logistics audit. The primary characteristics of logistics audit are a standardized procedure. Logistic audit is a standardized procedure for evaluation, assessment, monitoring, and control of logistics function. It is generally a third-party assessment on the ongoing logistics activity as against predefined standards of performance of the logistic function. Secondly, enables to process improvement. The audit activity per se is always an enabler to improvement of the task being audited. In case of logistics activity as well. Third one is identification of gaps and bottlenecks. Logistic audit helps in identification of gaps in the logistics, if any, and the factors causing the gaps or the bottlenecks in achieving standardized logistics performance. The fourth one is proposal of measures to mitigate process deficiencies. Logistics audit, along with the measurement of the present state of logistics function, helps in proposing the measures to mitigate the deficiencies identified in the process. We will be stopping here.